Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. John Cunningham. Can I help you, gentlemen? We have reason to believe that the Sawyer family of 4414 Rosewood Avenue recently won a competition run by your company. Yes, I remember them. They called up to cancel at the last minute. One of the kids was sick. Very unfortunate. Do you mind if I take a look at that? The Sawyer family, Rosewood Avenue. Here they are, Stephens. Tell us about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. There's not much to tell. They run a promotion. Our promotion's mailing list covers half of LA. So they are not a government agency? I don't believe so. Government organizations don't usually get involved in promotions. I'm told the tickets were a prize. Yes, they were. You do a lot of these prizes. Look, there are hundreds of these promotions running at any one time. If you're the lucky guy, you get your name pulled out of a hat. While the Sawyer family were supposed to be at Catalina Island, their house burnt down. You consider them lucky? Christ. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you tell me who offered the prize won by the Sawyer family? Sure. Look, there's supposed to be some sort of supervised draw with hundreds of tickets. But the reality is the Suburban Redevelopment Fund calls me every couple of weeks and tells me exactly who has won. Thanks for your help. No problem. Wish I could do something for that family. You could put round the hat. A few bucks would really help them. I suppose so.
Good. I'll put you down for 50. I could tell you were Samaritan the minute I walked in the door.
50? Are you? Good man, Cunningham. You're all right. Yeah, I'm great. Poorer, but great.
Okay. Yeah, I will play the second season of Walking Dead for sure. Once it's sold out. I don't know if it's sold out. They bundle everything eventually. And then I get the games.
Let me guess. You want to check out the Suburban address?
Great partners must think alike.
What I've heard is that it has very, very interesting moral quagmires, situations when you're put in a very difficult position. When you have to make very, very tough choices. That's how an RPG is supposed to be. Even if it has the dressing of an adventure game, point-and-click adventure game, it is not. And I can't wait for that company to make the Game of Thrones, their Game of Thrones game. That is going to be amazing. Especially if they can tweak a little bit the art style to make it more gritty, realistic, not so cartoony. If they can allow you to play a little finger, I would be laughing my ass while I destroy the lives of so many people. Oh, this seems like a fake. Ah, no, it is not fake.
This is supposed to be the registered offices of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
This is an Elysian housing development, Mac.
So Elysian is an investor in the redevelopment fund.
Looks that way.
Are we done here, Mac? I've got work to do.
Sure, buddy. Thanks for your help. Elysian are investors in the suburban redevelopment. So what?
Okay.
If you think I'm putting my pension on the line and harassing Leland Monroe without evidence, you're out of your mind. Lynch says we should visit him at Fire Station 32.
Who exactly is this guy, Lynch?
Lynch is a legend. You should feel privileged. He doesn't let many people into the inner sanctum. Keep your mouth shut, and you'll learn something about fires.
Wow, these pots sure are clean.
See? You'll be whistling too, and how easy it is to clean up after dinner.
Good thing they see you coming.
Soaps require
But
scrubbing.
she was lucky. I have this one.
Lemon Wash cuts grease and takes it right down the drain. And since Lemon Wash removes spots from pots and
I wouldn't
pans,
feel safe in a tank with you driving.
spots that occasionally get on clothes and that moths love to feed upon. Easy, quick Lemon Wash. Just listen for the whistle. The Lemon Wash whistle means it's gotta be clean. Lemon Wash all-purpose cleaner.
But after this game, if I can manage to not die, I'll go to the Assassin's Creed series.
Still talk of that event, 'cause the way she came and went, she took the town and turned it upside down.
We came as soon as we could.
That cop caught the guy that hid the medallion when they covered it up. Some kind of conspiracy.
Lynch.
Biggs, you two investigating the house fire on Kenmore Avenue as well?
Yep. Why?
I had a look around the place while I was out there.
Do you believe the fire?
I deal in facts, Phelps.
Oh,
Evidence of an explosion. No obvious sign of accelerants. Wiring looks intact. Come and take a look at this.
This the heater from the Sawyer fire, Al?
Yes, it is.
original.
Looks like it was recently serviced.
I have a theory, and it's a theory only. I don't have enough evidence to prove...
Al, if you say it's so...
Burner is a pilot light. You have a regulator valve, and the balloon represents the gas expanding in the room. Now, the gas has to make contact with the mosquito coil to form an explosion. Let's see if you can work out the chain of events.
Okay. Well, this has to go.
It's gonna ignite.
There it is. Could this go first? Doesn't make much sense. And it has to be the other way around. No, no, no. This has to go last. I've been foolish. This either goes first or second. This goes last, as good old Herschel told me. I would think this one next. Who the hell knows? So I had it right the first time.
Come on, Phelps. You need to get the arrangement right before we can reproduce the results.
Yeah. So I need to move the little handle at last. What did he say? This was a regulator valve?
Good, your regulator's in position.
Okay.
Okay, I'll light your pilot and turn the gas.
You pull the lever on the left.
So that's how it's being done.
Maybe. There could be a fault with these valves. I've adjusted this one for our experiment, but you need to take it to InstaHeat and see what they say. Their headquarters is on North Harvard Boulevard, number 262.
Thanks, Albert.
You're welcome, Biggs. See you at the next show.
Okay. Okay, let me see what you have been saying.
I swear.
You cancel your words. Well, my parents are not leftists.
Show?
Although they were or
next
could
fire.
have been.
You should go to the factory and see how many of these things are going bang in the night.
You know this Chapman character?
The guy's a freak. Loves fires. He's the kind of guy that we'd like for a lot of things, but we don't really have any credible evidence to pursue him with.
Wasn't that guy arrested? Well, yeah, in a post-apocalyptic world, you're right.
Just keep going.
You cannot treat people in a way that's what the hell? Consistent with the humanitarian ideals that we have brought into Western society. It's impossible. You will die.
Meet Joe's buddy.
LAPD detectives, ma'am. We need to speak to someone in charge.
I see. Well, duty manager for today is Mr. Rasick. You should find him in his office.
The only reason some people get lost in thought is because it's unfamiliar territory.
Unless you manage to get a community strong enough that treats outsiders that way. Okay, I'm guessing the supervisor is not here.
Yeah, I've been hankering for a dust-up.
Okay. That must be it. There we go.
Detective Phelps and Biggs, Arson. We're investigating a couple of house fires. What can you tell us about this?
Pressure regulator from a Model 70, yeah. Let me take a look. We have a problem. This has been tampered with.
What?
You see this diaphragm? It forms a seal across the saddle here. Gas flows across from here to here. The diaphragm regulates flow. It's been reversed. It's a subtle change, but it means the gas never closes off properly.
So you're telling me that this is not a manufacturing fault or service repair?
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the design.
Well, that doesn't seem likely.
You're telling me that you've never had any problems with this heater?
Look, we've changed the design since the Model 70.
These things are still being installed?
It's the demand. None of us could keep up with the amount of housing going up. At the budget end, we're still using some of the old stock. We are installing 100 heaters a week. They're not all faulty.
They're not all safe either.
Unless you don't turn the valve.
Are these diaphragms prone to failure?
They tend to go after a while. The rubber lasts quite a few years and then it perishes.
So the guys' names that I've been seeing doing the repairs on the heaters, they're fully licensed and accredited.
Sure, of course they are.
Okay.
You employ accredited mechanics to do this.
We call them installers. Technically, they're gas fitters.
Installers, then?
They know what they're doing, Detective, if that's what you're trying to imply.
I want you to get me a copy of the list of your installers.
Okay, I'll get it for you. There, around a
Reginald, whatever.
Housing business is going crazy at the moment.
This is a long shot. We are not going to rouse that whole list.
There you go, Barley Reginald.
I want to run it by R&I, cross-reference for arsonists. See if any of these guys have any previous. Sir, I need to use your phone.
Go right ahead.
What you say is true. What happens when someone like Putin faces someone like the West?
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
The West gets
Phelps, badge 1247.
danced around and put
How can I help, Detective?
I need to know if any of the following names have a previous criminal history.
Okay, Detective, run the names.
Acevedo Ernesto, Clemens Walter, Elgram John, Gable Leroy, Kelligrew Peter, Cutner Robert, Limehouse Albert, Manning Franklin, Neves Raymond, O'Brien Thomas, Ryan Matthew, Spurgeon William, Varley Reginald, Zurich Stephen.
Clemens Walter, previous conviction for arson and malicious damage. Burned down a house in Westwood in 1942. 4-year jail term.
Thanks.
Okay.
Ryan Matthew, charged for contempt of court, attempted murder, plea bargain down to assault charge.
Anyone else?
Reginald.
There is a Reginald Varley wanted for murder by Detroit Police Department.
Thanks. You've been a big help, young lady.
Yeah, I've been hankering for a dust-up.
Your employment roster is quite the rogues gallery, Mr. Rasick. Desperate times indeed. Do you have an address for Clemens?
He's working on an apartment building on Catalina and 3rd.
What about Ryan?
Currently working at a housing development on Normandy and 1st Street.
Varley, where is he?
Beverly and Mariposa, currently working on a new housing development. Hey, Varley's a good guy. You can't harass all my people.
These guys have lockers.
Yes, they do, but my men have a right to some privacy. Don't you need a warrant or something?
Show him and keep quiet.
Here. Happy now?
Stick around, Mr. Rasick.
Okay, girls, who stole my cigarette?
Clemens is a fellow traveler.
Well, there is nothing wrong with little anarchy. Maybe I should read this. Maybe I will. Yeah, let's read this. Maybe I will get interest and read myself. When ignorance reigns in society and disorder in the minds of men, laws are multiplied. Legislative is expected to do everything, and each fresh law being a fresh miscalculation, men are continually led in demand form it what? Yeah. Led to demand from it what can proceed only from themselves, from their own education and their own morality. It is so revolutionary who says this, nor it is not no revolutionary, not even a reformer. It is a jurist, Dolly, author of the collection of French law known as the Repertoire of Legislation, and yet, though these lines were written by a man who was himself a maker and admirer of law, they perfectly represent the abnormal condition of our society. Existing states, a fresh law is looked upon as a remedy for evil instead of themselves altering what is bad. What is bad? Alright. People begin by demanding a law to what? Alter it? Maybe. I don't understand that word. The road between two is unpassable, the peasant says. If, it would say, there should be a law about parish roads. If a parkkeeper takes advantage of the want of spirit in those who follow him with servile observance and insults one of them, the insulted man says, there absolutely should be allowed to enjoy more politeness upon parkkeepers. If there is stagnation, maybe, in agriculture or commerce, the husbandman, the rattle breeder, or the corn speculator argue it is protective legislature that we require. Down to the old clothesman, there is not one who does not demand a law to protect his own little trade. If the employer lowers wages or increases their hours of labor, the politician in embryo exclaims, we must have a law to put all those rights. Instead of telling the workers that there are other, much more effectual means of settling these things straight, namely recording from the employer the wealth of which he has been despoiling the workmen for generations. Okay, I've been all the way with this pamphlet until that very last phrase. In short, a law everywhere and for everything. A law about fashion, a law about mad dogs, a law about virtue, a law to put a soup to stop all the vices and all the evils which result from human indolence and cowardice. We are so perverted by an education which from infancy seeks to kill in us the spirit of revolt and to develop that submission to authority. We are so perverted by this existence under the ferule of law which regulates every aspect of life, our birth, our education, our development, our love, our friendship, that if this state of things continue, we shall lose all initiative, all habit of thinking for ourselves. Our society seems no longer able to understand that it is possible to exist otherwise than under the reign of law, elaborated by a representative of government and administered by a handful of rulers. And even when it has gone so far that as to emancipate itself from the thraldom, its first care has been to reconstitute it immediately. The year one of liberty has never lasted more than a day, for after proclaiming it, men put themselves the very next morning under the yoke of law and authority. Indeed, for some thousands of years, those who governed us have been nothing but have done nothing but bring the changes upon respect for law, obedience to authority. This is the moral atmosphere in which parents bring up their children, and school only serves to confirm that impression. This guy is hitting all the right notes. Cleverly assorted scraps of spurious science are inculcated upon the children to prove the necessity of law. Obedience to the law is made a religion. Moral goodness and the law of masters are fused into one and the same divinity. The historical hero of the schoolroom is the man who obeys the law and defends it against rebels. Later we enter upon public life, society and literature impressing us day by day, hour by hour, with water drop hollows this as water drop hollows the stone. They continue to inculcate, and I cannot read more because there is nothing. Who? I need to check that pamphlet one of these days. Let me check how it's called. Law and authority by whom? Ah, Kropotkin. Okay. That makes sense. I do have both Dark Souls. Well, this is no coincidence, I would say.
Optimistic, Cole.
Both Dark Souls games on my lists.
Some light reading on the merciless capitalist machine. Ryan wants the world to be a better place, don't we all?
Well, what do you know? There was better lightning here for reading. So, two anarchists. Yeah, that can't be a coincidence, alright. Ah,
Company went through thousands of these in the war. Still got eaten alive. Barley has a problem with bugs.
You know that a mosquito coil takes an hour to burn down, Rasic?
No, I didn't know that.
It's the favorite choice of ignition by arsonists. Gives them time to get away.
You're crazy. He probably lives near the canals in Venice. Mind if I leave you to it? I got work waiting.
Well, I don't see what else I can.
Clemens, Ryan, Varley. Where to, Phelps?
Well, I would say Barley, definitely.
I don't mind that you're talking, so long as you don't mind that I'm not.
The other guys are just revolutionaries. Ha! Okay. I guess he's planning the next one. Well, let me get this straight. Clearly that's the guy we're after. So, a guy has a study that says, wrongly or rightly, that 95% of rapes are conducted by non-Swedes, and the judge convicts him not because he was lying, but because he hurt the feelings of immigrants. That doesn't make any sense, to be honest. If it were fake information, I would convict him for slander.
Are you Matthew Ryan?
Who's asking?
Detective Phelps and Biggs, Arson Squad.
Arson?
You heard the man.
I'll just put this stuff in the car and I'll be right with you.
Of
Hold it,
course.
Those are GI's backyards he's crashing through.
The damage is only cosmetic.
He's a one-man wrecking ball.
Move it! I'll take out the van.
Get in close and steer him off the car. He's going to kill those men.
They'll get out of the way.
Only if they hear him coming.
Close in, Phelps. We need to take Ryan down before he hurts somebody.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Okay. One traffic stop coming up.
Show me your hands! Why did you run, Ryan?
I was scared.
You got a reason to be scared, Ryan?
Matthew Ryan, I'm arresting you on suspicion of committing a series of arsons.
Well, I don't know if immigrants do. I tend to believe humans are wretched equally. Okay, do I still need to go to the Earth 2, guys? I doubt it. What I would say, okay, I do have to go, is that if I were a woman
Turn the goddamn siren on.
seeking excitement, I would definitely try to have sex with an immigrant. The more culturally different, the better. It's like going to their country.
Any central unit, meet the officer, a hit-run felony at 6th and Alvarado. Any unit able to handle, code 2 identified.
But without the risk.
You ain't no kind of driver, Cole.
Going to a third world. And then you have other problems, like maybe it was consensual but someone found out and you accuse the immigrant of rape because who the hell cares about the immigrants? Everything is possible. You want to tell your fiancé, no dear, he forced himself upon me. And of course there are the legitimate rapes of people that are deranged, poor, and see the opportunity and seize it. Because why not? Maybe you can tell me what you think.
Damn you!
Really, you
what
you
are you
actually
doing?
believe that the Africans are
KGPL to any central unit, meet the officer,
more
a hit-run
prone
felony
to
at 6th and Alvarado.
sexually
Any unit able to
abusive
handle, code 2
behavior?
identified.
Car 11 King responding. Go ahead, KG.